Hello everyone, this is Carlos from Relics of Retail. In the summer of 2023, I had a unique experience inside a mall. It was mostly empty and it felt strange, surreal, and sometimes creepy. But I wondered, how did it get this way? So join me as I explore the story of the County Fair Mall in Woodland, California.
It's kind of creepy.
It is.
You are trespassing. Please leave the area. This area is under video surveillance and you have been recorded.
Woodland, California is about 20 miles from Sacramento. 1986 was a big year for construction in this agricultural city. One of these projects was the new County Fair Mall. Before its grand opening, 2,000 people attended a preview of the mall. This benefit event had wine and hors d'oeuvres. The entertainment included a strolling mariachi group, a fashion show, and people in animal costumes. The gala raised nearly $25,000 for the Woodland Memorial Hospital Foundation. The money would be used for renovation and life-saving equipment. The grand opening festivities began on October 1st, 1986. Here's the ad from the Sacramento Bee newspaper. The tagline was, "We're strutting our stuff." The ad said, "With sights and scintillating sounds of a Broadway musical, with the excitement and color of a circus carnival, County Fair Mall unfurls its flags and waves a warm welcome." The 5-day celebration included the Cal Aggie Marching Band and an appearance by LaSalle Thompson of the Sacramento Kings. The new mall was significant for the city of Woodland. People of the area didn't need to go to Sacramento anymore. Now they had their very own mall. The first anchor stores were Mervyn's, JCPenney, Rosenberg's, and Target. County Fair Mall did the best in the 80s and 90s. The maximum occupancy I found was during this era. Throughout its history, the shopping center hosted community and retail events inside and outside the mall. The most unusual one I found was a baby race. Yes, a baby race. Babies of various ages would race each other on gym mats. The first place prizes were a car seat, a stroller, and a playpen, all provided by the mall anchor stores. Rosenberg's closed after 9 months at the mall. The upscale department store was probably not a good fit for this blue-collar area. The space was quickly replaced by Gottschalk's, a department store with moderate prices. In 1990, the shopping center took a major hit. Highway 113 was diverted away from the mall, which made it less convenient. Nonetheless, the mall expanded beyond its concourses. One of the out parcels was a movie theater that opened in the 90s. By 1995, County Fair Mall boasted 76 shops and services. In 1988, the mall went into foreclosure. This happened after County Fair associates couldn't restructure their loan. In the dispute, the owners decided that they didn't have enough resources to attract new businesses and to retain them. They thought their lender, Pacific Life Insurance, could do a better job. So they became the new owner. Then the following year, they sold it to Triple Net Properties. That same year, 10 retailers didn't renew their leases and closed their stores. I think the original owners predicted the difficulties the mall would have. In the 2000s, the mall occupancy rate fluctuated. The mall's fourth owner began a remodel that was completed in 2008. But some of the 80s and 90s aesthetics were kept, as you will see in my footage. In 2008, Target left the mall and moved 3 miles away to the newer, bigger shopping center. Burlington Coat Factory took over the space the following year. In 2009, both the Mervyn's and Gottschalk's closed after the companies went under. The mall continued going downhill from then on. The former Mervyn's became Walmart Neighborhood Market in 2013. The entrance into the mall concourses was sealed off, so apparently Walmart is not considered part of the mall. As of this writing, the former Gottschalks remains empty. Some efforts were made to revitalize the County Fair Mall. In 2017, a workshop was held inside the mall. The 4-day event brought together 20 professionals and various stakeholders. They worked on a plan to retrofit the struggling mall. The result was a development plan that kept Walmart and JCPenney, demolished the mall corridors, and built new housing. That same year, the local news did a story on the mall, and the plan was a key component in their story.
It's kind of creepy.
The city of Woodland is working on revitalizing the mall with plans to demolish parts of it and add housing. But they've run into some trouble since they can't get a hold of the main owner.
Primary owner has the ability to come to terms and be able to negotiate with us and what the future of the site should look like. And so we need to be able to have everybody at the table.
I spoke with a manager over the phone. He says the owner is aware of all the plans, but what they want is something to get people to come here now.
Mall ownership was not interested in these long-term plans. The years passed and the mall was kept the same. Other efforts were made to revive the mall. Several events were held inside and outside the mall property. Management offered short-term leases at their storefronts. But this wasn't enough, and many spaces remained empty. The movie theater and Burlington Coat Factory closed in 2019. The former Burlington became a medical clinic in 2021. Like Walmart, it has no direct access into the mall, which I assume is for legal or privacy reasons. In the summer of 2022, the mall stopped hosting events. In August of that year, JCPenney and the majority of the mall was sold to ACEM LCC. This company is based in Pasadena, and it is mall owner number 6. I visited the mall on a Saturday afternoon in July 2023. This was almost a year since it was sold. The JCPenney was almost empty, but the employees were very nice. I tried entering the mall corridors through JCPenney, but the door was locked. I had to go outside and enter through an exterior entrance. There was a sign on the door that said, "No fireworks allowed." The nail salon was the only business in operation. I was blown away by how empty the mall was and how strange it felt to be in there. The mall speakers played 70s music. The interior aesthetics were a mix of 80s, 90s, and 2000s. It was a surreal time warp that felt intoxicating. My favorite aesthetics were the metal ceiling panels, the clock tower, the JCPenney mirror signage, and the old Foot Locker storefront. As I continued to walk around, my experience became weirder and more unsettling. These mannequins scared me because you had to look at the storefront from a certain angle to actually see them. And they were creepy, but the scene was very fitting for a dead mall. The person who made the display probably has a twisted sense of humor. I was almost alone walking through the corridors. I noticed a woman and a teenage girl walking towards the center court. When they realized how vacant the mall was, they quickly turned around and left. I understood their apprehension. I constantly heard sounds coming from the building, and I thought that someone might be on the roof. And thanks to those mannequins, I thought someone might pop out of nowhere. I was a bit stunned when I noticed a man sitting alone on a bench. He just sat there barefooted in front of an empty storefront. A few songs being played were also very fitting for a dying mall. Before leaving, I walked outside and filmed the only entrance that was open. Then I suddenly heard a loudspeaker announcement. You can catch the beginning of that message here.
You are trespassing.
I searched online and the full message was something like this.
You are trespassing. Please leave the area. This area is under video surveillance and you have been recorded.
When I heard that voice, I got nervous and I stopped recording. Even though I was outside and the door was open, I assumed this was security telling me to stop filming, so I did. The new owners probably didn't want more publicity for their struggling mall. I felt a bit offended because I didn't do anything wrong. I make these videos for historical and nostalgic reasons. I don't visit these properties to disparage them, and I am respectful and fair in my documentation. Nobody confronted me, so I took a few more images outside and then I finally left. In December 2023, the fire department found significant fire code violations at the mall. The most concerning one was the failure of the fire suppression system. Repairs were made at JCPenney, but not at the mall corridors. As a result, mall management was required to conduct 24/7 fire watch. This meant someone was required to continuously patrol the mall. Fire watch personnel needed to document their surveillance in a logbook. These fire watches were done consistently for a few weeks. Then they were sporadic and inconsistent. In January 2024, the fire chief sent a notice to vacate to mall management. He wrote, quote, "It is evident that there is no intention to comply with the fire code, and a life safety hazard persists." A local news channel did a story on the mall closure in February 2024. A church and the nail salon were the last tenants, and they were ordered to vacate their spaces. The church pastor was in a dispute with mall management over his lease, which was valid until 2037. The reporter interviewed him and someone from the nail salon. She tried to interview mall management. The response supports my conclusion that mall management is not nice.
So now the clock is ticking down to closure with that notice to vacate apparently effective this weekend. We approached County Mall management here today in person, who told us no comment. When we tried to question them further, they said, "Do we need to spell it out for you?" So at that point, the message was clear. No response today from mall management.
The nail salon and church vacated the mall in February 2024, and the entrances to the mall were boarded up. Walmart, JCPenney, and some outparcels are still open. The church found a new home, and it appears the nail salon did too. I visited the JCPenney in April 2024. I asked an employee what was going to happen to the mall. She said they had not heard anything from the owner. The current owner is likely to blame for the mall closure. The failure to comply with fire code makes me think they were broke, or maybe even apathetic or negligent with their property. Previous owners could be blamed too. County Fair Mall had been struggling for many years, and I wonder if they would realize this and just sell the mall and pass the task of redevelopment onto the next owner. When the County Fair Mall opened in 1986, it was significant for the area, but various factors have led to its downfall. Walking through these sad, empty corridors felt like traveling back to the 80s, 90s, and 2000s, a time when indoor malls were popular but overabundant. This property is a perfect example of an era that is long gone. But I am grateful that I filmed these vintage corridors before they closed. Hopefully they don't sit vacant for long and the land is made into something that better serves the community. So there you have it, County Fair Mall. Thank you for a surreal, strange, and unique experience. So what do you think of this mall? Did you visit it when it was thriving? What memories do you have of it? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed my video, watch my other short documentaries and subscribe to my channel. And follow me on Instagram where I post additional content. Thank you for watching.